Welcome everybody to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.FM for July 30th, 2014. Wow, I can't believe it's almost the end of July. I'm your host Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek J.
Holla! What's going on, guys?
Good, man. How's Derek?
Living the good life. Thinking about CopBlock.org.
Yeah, why? What specifically about CopBlock.org are you thinking about?
I'm still thinking about Bill O'Reilly and how he was talking about it on Fox News. I mean, that kind of blew my mind. It still hasn't left me. I did a little video on it and posted that to freekeen.com, like about how we're all victims of the drug war. Bill O'Reilly laughing that off. Anyway, that's not this week. There's lots of stuff going on this week that we could talk about.
Well, I see this week there was a hit piece put out on Bill O'Reilly in response to the CopBlock thing.
Really?
I missed that. Who wrote the hit piece?
Is the Anti-Media.
Oh.
They went through all the sexual harassment stuff that Bill O'Reilly has gone through, and like a ton of court documents and stuff where he's a really dirty person.
Shocking. He's a dirty person. I cannot believe it. The way he treats other people on his show on national television for 14 years, calling them scum. I'm shocked to believe, to hear that he treats people badly. Well, there's what about the Chihuahua that was left for dead? I heard about that this week. That really got to me. Did you hear the cops arrested some guy and left the Chihuahua that was in his car just to linger on the side of the road? I shouldn't laugh because this is awful, but it's just the story you can only get from the American police. I mean, would that happen anywhere? People have a heart.
It's not his job, man. He told him that's not my job. Like, how can you be so literally just heartless? It's a dog, and I mean, granted, it's a small dog, but it is still, technically a dog. But man, like, it's a dog, man. You're just gonna let it by the road there? Like, how people get in trouble for leaving their dogs in the car? People get in trouble for having their dogs off a leash. How did this just become okay?
I don't know. It's like, I don't know, it might seem petty because it's just a pet, right? And they're a small pet at that, so people could just discard it. And I get that, police commit serious crimes against people every day, but this is just one where, when you have a book where a dog dies, or a movie where a dog is one of the main characters, a boy and his dog, and the dog dies, it's always the big tragedy, right? For some reason, people might be more empathetic. I can speak for myself. I'm more empathetic about pets and children and women, not so much when some guy gets arrested, but when his Chihuahua lingers on the side of the road. That gets to me. You?
That is heartless. I'm a dog person, man. I'm not, everybody gets their own pets, but I mean, I'm a dog person. But even if it was a cat, I would still feel bad because it's somebody's, it's something somebody cares about. Somebody somewhere cares about that animal, and granted, he didn't walk up and shoot it in front of a 6-year-old child, but essentially it was almost worse because he endangered how many people, because now there's a dog running around, in traffic.
Didn't that just happen too? You're not like making that up.
No, that just happened too. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, I love my Chihuahua.
What's your biggest news story? Oh, that's right. You have a Chihuahua, don't you?
Do you really?
So this this must be extra personal for you when you heard that the Chihuahua was left on the side of the road. That could have been you.
It's sad. It's just a tiny little dog, and he was like part blind too.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing about it. Yeah, about it being a Chihuahua is like, if it's a Great Mastiff or one of those Beethoven dogs, like, no one would be upset. That one can handle itself. It could probably go off in the woods and kill a wolf. But a Chihuahua can't do anything. I mean, some eagle's gonna come and
that's like leaving a baby on the side of the road.
All they do is stand there and shake. That's all they do is shake. They just stand there and shake.
But it's still a member of the family for a lot of people. These pets, they become family members. So anyway, that was one that was touching for me. What was your biggest news story of the week?
You got one, Eric? I was going to talk about the one it was actually in Pennsylvania.
What happened?
In Harrisburg, in the capital. It wasn't, typically, most of the problems come from Philadelphia, as you well know, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently there was a person who was intoxicated in public, and the police did not appreciate it. So I don't know if the guy was kicked out. I saw the article on Photography is Not a Crime. Carlos posted it up, but there's this guy in Pennsylvania. He was in Harrisburg. He was drinking, and I guess the cops were trying to arrest him, and he quote unquote resisted resist arrest or other law enforcement, BS.
That can mean anything.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to you, so I tried to walk away, so you tackled me and told me to stop resisting. So basically, they had one hand behind him, and he kind of like pulled his arm away. I'm sure it was uncomfortable having somebody grab your wrist and put it behind your own back. And the cop basically body slams the guy onto the sidewalk, and there's people all around this watching this. So what happens is one of the people that's staying there must be, at least somewhat educated or a fan of CopBlock, and they start recording. And he stands there for about, 5 or so minutes, and now there's about 6 or 7 cops sitting there, and there's people all over the sidewalk. I don't know if it was a Friday or a Saturday, but downtown Harrisburg on 2nd Street can get pretty busy, and there can be a lot of people who are intoxicated in public. This is like downtown; it's where people go. So there's like all these people standing around. Well, the cop singles out one person who just happens to be the one person who's recording.
Oh, what do you know? You think that was a coincidence?
Surprise, surprise. So, he tells him that he has to move along, even though all these other people are just standing around talking and, watching. And they're basically...
Or walking the opposite direction through the scene.
Because they don't want to jaywalk. So the cop basically chases this person, not running, but he's being aggressive towards him and telling the guy he has to leave and he can't do that, that there's no reason for him to do it. And the guy's like kind of standing up for himself, but in the end he reluctantly complies, and these cops chase him. It looks like a security guard and a cop, and the guy is, of course, the biggest one there, the bully, is intimidating this person, and he threatened him with blocking the sidewalk. Now, if you look at the video, because there's video, obviously the video is posted up, this sidewalk is probably, I would say, 12 to 15 feet wide. Call it 10. One person, call him 2 foot wide. There's 8 feet left in the sidewalk. Now, the cops are all standing around this person who's laying on the ground bleeding. So they charge the person with resisting arrest, public drunkenness or similar misconduct, and failure to disperse upon official order. So he didn't do what he was told and told to leave, apparently. And now the guy is facing 3 charges, and he got beat up.
Wow. It seems like the police in that situation just had to justify their violence. Like, they got violent on some guy who didn't deserve it, and then they're like, well, we can't just leave him and just all bruised. We got to charge him with something, right? So they just slap a bunch of ridiculous charges that don't even apply just to justify the violence that they made. It's like,
I don't know what happened to completely precede the event or what the interaction was, but in the end, there was someone who was beat up and somebody else who was intimidated, and all of this was through the direct action of the Harrisburg Police Department.
Were you in that area?
They have to charge you with something. That's the whole thing. They don't care because it's no skin off their back if the charges get dropped or you're found not guilty or anything. They can do whatever they want because nothing happens to them if they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I was downtown Harrisburg months and months ago, and the last time I was there was somebody stabbed right across the street from the bar that we were in. It was like, well, I guess we'll just go home now. We don't need to be around this, and we left. And next time I'm around there, I won't go back.
So, speaking of they need to charge you with something, I was going through some PorcFest videos and editing them, and I just put one up. Hopefully it will be published soon. But there's something that the speaker said related to this, that they need to charge you with something. And we'll talk about it when we come back. This is the CopBlock Radio Show on LRN.FM.
This is the central scrutinizer. I steal your labor by force through taxation.
My job is to spy on you and keep you from hearing things like the Freedom Fiends.
Yeah, so I was
especially
cutting
Do not want
DIY firearms.
Freedom Fiends episodes to keep them drone-proof. Do not go to freedomfiends.com and click on the torrent link to learn how to torrent Fiends archives. Do not go to freedomfiends.com
and click on the torrent
and
link.
learn how to torrent Fiends archives.
Receivers.
Yeah.
And like he had friends and lawyers trying to figure out and calling like the police to try to figure out what clarification on their new stupid laws. And the answer came down to, well, if we have to, we'll just charge them with negligence. That it's like, we don't know if you're, even if everything you're doing is legal, we'll just charge you with negligence or some sort of endangerment type of statute for building your own AR-15 or whatever.
Hey Eric, do you get the audio from these episodes? Are you the one who records? I mean, I see that you're recording. I'm recording as well. But
Yeah.
You edit these episodes and put them online?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, great. Thanks.
I've been kind of lazy, so they've always been coming out late. Like I posted last week's like 5 minutes before the show started.
Why?
I'm just really bad at getting it done.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm recording on this end to see if I can get a decent recording. From what I remember, even though last week I kept being like, it sounds weird, it's funky, it came out with a really decent recording. Sounded good.
Yeah, well, I was cutting last week's, and I can tell where I'm talking, and then where you're talking, and then when Scott's talking, because we were all at different levels.
Oh, really?
Oh, when you were looking at the audio? We should work
Just
on
looking
that.
at the waveform, I'm like, I know who's talking there, I know who's
Well,
talking there,
was
I know
I-
who's talking there.
Was I the loudest? I'll turn mine
No,
down.
you were the quietest.
I was the quietest.
Are
Okay.
you the loudest, Eric?
Apparently I was.
I was because I feel like you're always loud.
Okay, I'll turn my
I
mic
have
up
my
a little
gain
bit.
turned all the way down. I'll actually turn. That's probably a good idea. But I'll turn.
I'm turning my gain up a little bit. Do you think we're mixed evenly now?
Damn it!
What?
I'm just looking at that guy shot that little puppy. That jerk.
I know, so
What a-
sad.
Dick.
Yeah.
Did you see the one? This was I don't know when it was. It was July 17th. I don't think that we talked about the Pennsylvania guy who got shot by police during warrant service for parking tickets.
Oh my God, no! I talked about that on Peace News Now last night.
Did you?
Ridiculous, outrageous. Yeah, because
I cut it and I'm uploading it tonight, and under the title "Parking to Die For," literally.
Unreal.
you cut that from the news website.
No, from your show. I cut up
From Peace News
last
Now.
night's show. Yeah.
Sweet. Oh, Eric, thank you for doing that. That is awesome.
I cut last night's show in an hour and 15 minutes.
Boom. And the show
After-
is only an hour and 15 minutes without commercials anyway, so.
Right. Well, it's like, it's 2 hours of raw footage, and I cut
Right.
it. I chopped it up into like 10 segments, and
Wow, that is
Free
so
Talk
cool.
Live- Free Talk Live is more of a pain in the ass because they jump around so much. So trying to
Yeah.
find the other pieces of the topics, which is good because now you can have the topic all together.
Right, but it's harder to do. I
so I
try and
think-
keep the topics flowing.
Right. It takes a while.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.FM. I'm your host, Eric, and with me tonight is Scott and Derek J.
Woohoo! Hey, you know,
Alright,
I
so-
forgot to mention this in the first segment, but you can dial into the show. We've got a call-in line on Skype. If you have Skype, you'll sound delicious. Dial us at CopBlockRadio, all one word, CopBlockRadio.
All right, so before the break, I was talking about I was cutting a PorcFest video, and it's actually DIY firearms. So it's a really cool talk because he talks about building AR-15s from parts kits or getting 80% frames for all types of things, AR-15s and 1911s, and actually some people that he knows that built from just raw materials like flintlock pistols and stuff. It's really cool. So the speaker is actually from Sandy Hook, Connecticut, and in the talk he says, "Yeah, I live only a half-mile away. I heard the shots that day." But one thing that he was talking about was the 80% frames, and that one company that he buys 80% frames from, after new laws went into place in Connecticut, they wouldn't ship 80% frames to Connecticut anymore. But another one did. So it's like these two companies don't know what the laws are. So he set out to figure out what the actual laws were, what the actual real-world application would be, and like a lawyer got involved, and they called around to police departments to ask about 80% frames, and of course they know nothing about firearms because Upson, they usually only pull out their firearm once a year, hence why they're horrible shots. And they didn't know what to tell them, and they said, "Well, if we can't figure out what to charge you with, we're going to charge you with something. We'll probably just charge you with some sort of negligence or some sort of reckless endangerment or something."
Wow.
So I thought that was really crazy. Like, they just need to come up with some sort of excuse to charge you with something. You may not be actually breaking the law, but we'll figure out. I mean, there's so many laws on the books. I'm sure we can figure out one that we can hit you with.
The shotgun effect. Just see what you can hit. Pull the trigger.
Yep.
Well, it's because the police are not responsible for what happens. If you're found not guilty, that's a pretty serious charge to, negligence, all this stuff. Hey, but we got a caller on the line. You want to take this call?
Sure, go for it.
All right, we got Z100 Classic Hits is dialing in. You are on the air.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Excellent. Welcome. You sound great.
Thank you very much. Appreciate what you guys are doing. I am part of your stream on Facebook. Keep up with you guys on Facebook.
Excellent. Yeah, what do you like about our Facebook posts?
Just getting the fact out there that badges don't grant extra rights.
But the message, they do. Don't you think they do? I was called out on that recently, caller. I was told, although I say badges don't grant extra rights, I act like they do. I don't treat cops the same as I treat everyone else. Do you?
Well, I mean, you don't go up and act an asshole to them, if I could say that, but, a little bit of respect here and there when they interact with you. But as far as just granting them respect just because they're wearing a badge, that's a little bit much.
Yeah, well, I grant everybody respect, but I don't pull over every time someone puts lights on the top of their car.
Touche. I see your point, and I agree.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, we hope for a day. We hope for a day when it's true.
Yeah, that saying goes more that they're just a person. They're nothing. They're not better than the rest of us. They're just a person. They have the same rights as everybody else. But for some reason, they have an aura of having more rights or the ability to do more things than the average person is allowed to do. Some semblance of, I don't know what you want to call it, legitimacy, I guess.
I agree.
I think there would be a difference between the term courtesy and respect.
There you go.
I extend more courtesy to them than a normal person, but I don't respect them for what they do. I just, risk management, I extend them more courtesy.
I agree. That's a good way to put it.
Any other thoughts you want to share tonight, caller?
No, a little story here. I was at an intersection here in the town where I live at this past weekend, and I was sitting there. I of course had the red traffic light my way, and about probably probably about 200 feet down the road, a cop was leaving a parking lot.
Is there a cop behind you right now?
No, that's my UPS. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right.
But anyway, hang on one second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Take this. We'll take your UPS call. We'll vamp. Here, let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you guys want to pop me down there for a second, that's fine.
Yeah. You're on hold. Send me a message when you're ready. Hey, but that is a nice appreciative call. I appreciate that. And the Facebook post on CopBlock, what sort of reach do they have now, Eric?
About 250,000.
250,000 likes or 250,000 is the reach?
The average post gets between 150 and 250,000 reach.
Whoa.
I'm looking at the.
That's some serious reach, man.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lady who just got a settlement for the bra shaking incident. That one's at 370,000. But we regularly have posts that go viral that get 12 million.
That's so crazy. That's so many.
Isn't that insane? 12 million reach on some posts.
So, do you think Bill O'Reilly is seeing some of CopBlock's Facebook posts?
Well,
we got Z100 back.
We're only 400,000 likes behind Bill O'Reilly.
Whoa. You're catching up.
And Police One also?
We got Z100 back. What do you think about Bill O'Reilly?
You know, I caught that through the link there on your CopBlock Facebook page, and I thought it was ludicrous.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what's her name?
Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly chiming in a day or so later. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I thought it was a nice opportunity to talk about how we're all victims of the drug war. I mean, she laughed at Adamos claiming that he's a two-time victim of the war on drugs, but we're all victims of the war on drugs. I mean, even if you don't use drugs, you're a victim of having to live in an environment where there's more violence than there would be because of the black market. Your friends and family.
And you have to pay for all this crap, too.
You pay for it. You pay for the cages. You pay for people to not do research because the scientists who would be curing diseases and building new fuels can't research it. So end prohibition today. End the violence.
All right. Thanks for the call. And we have to head to break. You are listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on LRN.FM.
Hey, thanks, C100. Going to move on to the next caller.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as
we got another caller on the line.
Seth Godin is an
Ice.
opinion leader.
Like,
when a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls.
We got another caller on the line.
Yeah, you want to hear him?
Seth Godin
Should we talk to him before the show?
People are more likely to tell their friends
Can we do that? This is how we screen our calls.
Well, hey, you want to call in? He just called and then hung up, so I'm going to message him.
All right.
We need music for these little breaks. You know, I've been broadcasting, by the way, and I'm broadcasting these commercial breaks. I want to try something out where, oh no, I wouldn't be able to mute just you guys, or just us, so that we can talk and it's not broadcasting out to YouTube. That's what I really want to do. But right now, our chit-chat does go out to the YouTubes that I'm broadcasting.
So don't say anything too personal.
So don't say anything crazy. But I'm also broadcasting at DerekJ.me.
Yeah, Derek J is like the ultimate open book. He just like
always broadcasting, always live.
Broadcasting. It's like the Truman Show with you.
Yeah, but it's got chapters. You know, you can like skip to the part that you want to see. You want to see Bitcoin show? You want to see CopBlock show? What you want? Oh, we got a caller. Hey, caller, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Living and loving. We got 2 minutes before we come back from the break, but if you got anything you want to rap about before that, you can do so. You are on the air on YouTube, but not on LRN.FM.
Oh, all right, that sounds good. No, I just wanted to talk about something I encountered about last week. With the police officers.
Go ahead.
You want me to wait till you guys get back, or is now cool?
We're considering this your screen. We're screening
just
you.
some footnotes.
Okay, well, basically, I was 16 at the time. I'm 17 now, so I'm a young, viewer and such. So, anyways, I was walking down the street with a couple friends, and we got pulled over. So I was asking the cop, why he was pulling us over, because we were just minding our business and such. So I'm the only one talking out of my friends because I'm pretty much the only one who knows my rights. And so since I was talking the most, the cop puts me in handcuffs and puts me in the back of the car, gets my information and such, goes out, talks to my friends, basically just says, well, he was talking, he knew his rights, so I put him in the car to scare him. So basically I was put in handcuffs, pretty tight actually, left some scar on my hands, and pretty much detained for about 5 to 10 minutes for walking down the street. It was only 9 o'clock. He said there was a curfew. I told him that I don't need the curfew. I'm 16 years old. It's 9 o'clock to walk down the street. You know what I mean? So that was just kind of.
That's a good lead into. I don't think we talked about it last week. There was that girl who got beat up because she was out past curfew. Did you guys see that?
No.
I didn't see anything about that.
I will go find the article real quick.
Cool. I'm gonna bring LRN.FM back in my ears, and caller, hold for another 20 seconds. We'll be back live. Recap your story. I'm going to grab some water.
Sounds good,
I
thanks.
think you should go to the Japanese Americans and ask them, Lou.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.LRN.FM for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.LRN.FM.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.FM. I am your host, Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek Day.
Yo!
Derek, I was going to say, Derek, is he back?
Yeah, I'm back.
No, I'm just sitting here, I'm I'm waiting for it. I got it. Okay.
I was patiently waiting.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
We have a caller on the line that has a very interesting story to tell us.
All right, you guys ready?
Go for it.
All right, so basically last week I was with a couple friends of mine. We were decided to go to the store, so we were walking in my neighborhood. It's a friendly neighborhood, and just walking down the street, and all of a sudden we see cop lights, behind us and such. So he rolls up to us, and he starts talking to us, and I started asking him questions because I'm in security and law classes and know my rights and stuff.
Did you have a video camera?
I did not. I wasn't thinking at the time. I wanted to have one of my other friends record for me, but
do you have a
they were
smartphone?
intimidated. I do have a smartphone.
Does it have a live streaming app?
Yeah, I have a Twitch for it, so I could probably just stream right off there.
All right, go on with your story.
All right, so anyways, what had happened was he starts talking to us, and, I was asking him questions as a citizen would do. So nobody else is talking. I'm usually the one who is talking, and he tells me to put my hands behind my back. If you want to be smart, this is what's going to happen. Puts me in cuffs, puts me in the back of the car for about 10 minutes.
Whoa, stop there. What were you thinking at that point when he tells you put your hands behind your back?
At that point, I'm thinking he thinks that I'm trying to be a smartass, if I can say that.
Right.
I'm not trying to actually, for my safety. And then actually a point that I forgot before was he was like, so why were you doing that? And I was like, in my area, especially because I'm from Buffalo, New York, I don't know if you guys have seen that video of the man getting beat in downtown Buffalo. It's actually really viral.
There's probably been quite a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, that video of cops beating up on a guy? Wow,
yeah,
I think I've seen that one.
Right, and so I was concerned with that stuff going on, so I go, and he's like, well, a lot of mailboxes have been broken and stuff, and I was like, so I go on, and I'm like, well, the reason I'm trying to talk to you is because there's a lot of police brutality going on, and he goes, well, not all cops are like that, and I said, well, not all cops are juveniles. So, or not all kids, you know, like us, are juveniles. So basically, after I said that, he ended up letting me go after I proved him wrong. But he wanted to isolate me and just talk to everybody else, I guess.
Wow. Were you intimidated by him?
I was not. When I was in cuffs, I was just kind of like, I wonder what's gonna happen now, because like, I knew there was no curfew, but at the same time, I know how they like to, you know, go on about that stuff. So I was just kind of waiting, seeing what happens. No, cops don't really intimidate me.
Have you ever been to jail?
Not when I'm doing anything wrong. I know I've not been to jail. I don't have a criminal record.
Yeah. Did you think you might be going to jail that night?
No, I was more concerned about him just driving me home and talking to, waking somebody up for like no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mentioned because you're how old?
I was 16 at the time, 17. Yeah, it was like last week. I had a birthday, between then. So yeah, I was 16 years old. Thank you. And all my friends are just telling me, they're like, stop. And I'm like, well, we're being pulled over for not doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How'd you hear about
the officer?
Go on.
I just saying, I told the officer, I said, I'm in security and law. I know my rights. I just want to know, why we're being pulled over. He goes, I really don't care what you want. And that's when he put the cuffs on me. I don't care what you know, all that stuff.
Why are you in security and law?
I'm in security and law because I did have an interest in law. I wanted to make a difference in the force, but I'm not really sure with everything going on that's like an option for me now.
Good for you.
You know what I mean?
Fired pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to see if I could stop, some of the things going on in my area, but I don't know if that's possible at this point.
Yeah, there are some good cops. Have you heard about Oath Keepers?
I have not.
Oath Keepers is a pretty cool organization for law enforcers and other folks who have sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution, and they have a card. And in fact, I'll grab one right here.
He's got all types of images. He's the master propagandist, I think.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is these sound effects? No, that's Derek just getting up and going into the next room.
We will not obey orders to disarm the American people. We will not obey orders to conduct warrantless searches of the American people. We will not obey orders to detain American citizens as unlawful enemy combatants or subject them to military tribunal. And it's stuff like that. So if you're interested, if that stuff sounds like it's up your alley, check out oathkeepers.org.
Absolutely.
Any other thoughts you got tonight?
No, that's about it. Just enjoying the show for now.
How'd you hear about CopBlock?
I like the page on Facebook. I really do like the pictures and stuff. I'm into like National Gun Association, rights for guns and stuff like that. And they share some of the pictures from CopBlock sometimes, so I decided to check it out.
Cool. Well, keep it up, man. And carry a video camera. Don't forget, when you're having an interaction with police, you turn that camera on right away. Before you do anything, before you talk to them, before you engage, turn that camera on. You need an objective record. Cops lie. I know this is a shocking statement. You've probably never heard this before, but cops lie.
Never believe this.
Yeah, and you need to have video evidence to prove what actually happened, prove that you're a peaceful person.
Absolutely, because I get pulled over a lot. My dad lives on the busiest street in Chihuahua, so I get pulled over quite often around here too.
Yeah.
Just for walking.
What do you say?
Just basically tell them where I'm going. Sometimes I'll just say, I'm going where I need to go. I don't really have to say anything because I'm not doing anything wrong. And they'll just hold me up for a little bit of time, but eventually I just get to walk away.
Now, if that's what freedom looks like, then why don't we stop everyone who's walking down the side of the road? If that's what freedom looks like, then why don't we have cops on every corner stopping people for walking?
Basically, they're stopping us because they know that they can intimidate me. But once because me and the group of guys I hang out with, we all know our rights and stuff. We all into following the Constitution strictly. Yeah. And so every time they do, they find out we know our rights, they're just like, all right, go. But they're not, you know what I mean? They're never happy about it.
You part of a CopBlock chapter where you are?
No, I didn't know there was an actual organization type thing.
Yeah, there's chapters. People start their own group. If there isn't one in your area, you can start your own. It's just a group of people who film police or upload content online about their interactions, upload stories about what's going on in their area with police. Just watching the watchers.
Just to see if there's anyone near you, just go to copblock.org/groups, and it has a listing of all the currently known groups. I'm sure there's more who haven't been listed.
Yeah, how many are there, Eric? Do you know how many CopBlock groups there are?
Oh, geez.
Like 200 or something,
at least
right?
200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there's one in at least every single state.
Yeah.
And
Is there any other
California
countries?
alone, there's
It's a good question.
yes, there's some in Canada. There's a bunch over in Europe.
I imagine now that
South Africa.
Pete has gone to South Africa, they've founded a few chapters there, perhaps.
Wow.
Where are you at, caller?
So what state are you in?
New York.
Oh no!
Oh,
Get out of there.
They're everywhere.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, you're good. There's CopBlock of Western New York, Long Island.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm in Western New York.
Suffolk. Well, there you go. So there's a Western New York CopBlock, and there's a Facebook group and a Twitter group. So you should be all good.
Yeah, get connected with them. Any other thoughts
Absolutely.
before we let you go?
No, that's about it.
All right, thanks for calling, man. Peace.
Thanks.
What other stories we got tonight, guys?
Yeah, and him getting, harassed because he's 16. There was a story last week, July 20th, was actually in Reason magazine, where a 17-year-old girl in Clairton, Pennsylvania. Oh, there goes Pennsylvania again.
Oh, no.
Was brutalized by cops because she was a few minutes past the city curfew of 10 p.m. She was out. Ooh, that's one heck of a crime right there, to be out past curfew.
Zero
And
tolerance.
how can the city actually impose a curfew just for being, younger than somebody else? It's pretty ridiculous.
Where do they get the authority?
We'll talk about it some more when we come back with CopBlock Radio Show.
On LRN.FM, we talk a lot about alternative currencies. Did you know that now
We got another
you can
caller,
buy
guys.
gold, silver, and other
Come
precious
in.
metals with
Hey, how goes it,
Bitcoins?
guys?
LRN.FM
Hey, Mark.
has partnered with
I'm
Emerging
broadcasting
Metals to
right
bring
now,
you
but
great
we're on a
prices
break.
on beautiful 0.999 fine silver, as well as gold, platinum, and other
There's a
metals.
chapter
Check
in
out their
Hawaii,
selection and pay with
like
Bitcoins or Federal Reserve
Alaska.
notes at metal.lrn.fm.
Yeah, I think
That's
there's pretty much one in every single state.
LRN.FM.
This is a national health care alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a
yeah,
family
just look
member,
at the
or a
map.
loved one
There,
suffers from
doesn't
knee
have
pain and have Medicare as your primary
It's not a
insurance,
whole,
we've got
neither
you
does
great
Wyoming.
news.
What?
You can
Free
qualify for
Wyoming.
pain-relieving
Free
knee
Wyoming's
pain
not
at
doing
little
very
or
good
no
if they
cost
don't
to
even
you.
have a
Get
single
free
CopBlock
delivery,
up there.
and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. So if you're
North
on
Dakota,
Medicare
Montana,
and have knee
Wyoming,
pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no
Even
cost.
Arkansas has
Friendly
one.
agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. We also have
That's
other
it.
pain-relieving
All the three
braces too for your shoulder,
Hawaii even
ankle, or
has
back. You may be eligible to get
Well,
these
I
items
assume in
and
Hawaii,
more
I
at
mean,
little
they
or
have
no
such a
out-of-pocket
huge,
cost.
like,
Our
drug
friendly
issue down there
representatives are standing by now to
That's
help
like
you, so
all cops
please
do.
call now.
Method.
800-301-2963.
That's like the mayor trying to- whenever the guy who was trying to run for mayor got
800-301-2963.
tased.
800-301-2963.
Yes, I saw that. That happened, like, just this week, right?
I don't understand how, like,
800-301-2963.
a taser is not
Instead
like a
of just
go
listening,
gadget
you can
arm.
also watch
That's not what that
see the
is.
Liberty Radio Network's key New Hampshire-based live shows via our studio cam at cam.lrn.fm. Plus, you'll still be able to listen to the Liberty Radio
I was
Network
about
via
to
the
say,
cam
I'm
feed in
surprised
high
it's not a
quality
CopBlock
24/7,
Mexico,
even when there's no
like,
live show being produced in our Keene studio. But wait, there's more.
Probably
Our chat
not
room is
somewhere
built into the cam page, so you can interact with other
No
listeners
CopBlock
online.
Tijuana.
Listen,
I don't
watch,
see
and
anything in the
chat, all
Bahamas.
free at cam.lrn.fm. That's cam.lrn.fm.
When I found the Free State Project, I knew it was the key to achieving
There's
liberty
an
in my
Egyptian
lifetime.
CopBlock.
It's awesome to
I
be
saw
surrounded by
that.
like-minded, freedom-loving activists who've moved here to New Hampshire. From politics to
New
civil
Zealand has
disobedience, we
chapters.
have it all. Where I came from, it felt that no matter what I
Zealand
did,
has more than
liberty
one.
was dying. Perhaps you feel the same way? Call
There's
888-377-2515
no,
now
Korea
to
CopBlock?
learn more about the Free State Project. That's
Is there any in China?
888-377-2515.
New Zealand
or visit
has two.
freestateproject.org.
Hey, you guys there?
You can do for
Yeah.
LRN.FM.
Sorry you
Let your
had to
friends know
listen
you're listening
to the LRN ads. Here. Now it's just us. Just us in YouTube. How you doing, LP?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Living and loving. What do you want to talk about tonight?
Disappointed in myself.
Why are you
Yeah.
disappointed in yourself? Are you going to talk about your cop encounter?
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely.
Cool. We can link the video is at derekj.me if anyone wants to watch it before the show starts again.
Yeah, because it's kind of disappointed in myself.
You sound
registered
sad.
my van.
You registered it.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough, I actually figured out a way to do it. The guy that I was going to buy a new vehicle from, he took a look at my thing and was like, I can help you out.
Don't feel
Okay.
bad. You were strong-armed, man. I mean, like, do you feel bad when you give your wallet over to a robber who's got you at gunpoint?
If I have the means to defend myself, then yes.
No.
I feel like I just gave up.
Once you're at gunpoint, you surrender. You say, take my stuff. It's just stuff. I'll get new ones. And then you live your life.
Yeah, but $560 worth of stuff to
Yeah.
drive a vehicle I already owned.
It's ridiculous. You know, in New Hampshire, it's like, I don't know, I would pay like $100 for registration, but it's every year. How much is it in Illinois? Is it every year?
I think it was like 108 for that, and plus it was out of
Oh,
state.
we're back. Hold that thought.
Latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.FM. I am your host, Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek.
Yo. And a caller.
And a caller.
Yeah, we got LP on the line. You can share your thoughts by Skyping in like Liberty Phoenix did. Our Skype username is CopBlockRadio, all one word. Send CopBlockRadio a contact request. It will be accepted. And then you can dial into the show like Liberty Phoenix. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, you know, CopBlock Radio and CopBlock in general, this decentralized project, doesn't only want to put a spotlight on the negative actions that law enforcement officers do. They also like to put a spotlight on the decent folk that actually use discretion and have a brain and are actually open to the ideas of freedom and liberty that work within the law enforcement realms. And last Saturday, I had an incident. I had a traffic stop where I was pretty much certain that I was going to be going to jail. I've been driving a vehicle that had no registration, bad plates, and the plates were expired and off of a different vehicle. So when I saw the lights behind me, I was like, well, that's it. He's got me dead to rights. I'm pretty much just going to appeal to his human nature and not try to BS him or work my way around him with my rights, because I could assert my rights all I wanted, and I'm still going to jail. So the officer approached the vehicle, took my insurance and my driver's license, went back to check for my warrants and so forth, and then the thought hit me, hey, start your recording. What are you doing? So I clicked on my Bambuser, and he came back, asked me whether or not the vehicle was registered to which plates and so forth, and I just came right out and told him, no, those are from my other vehicle. It's the only way that I can continue driving to fraud. And the officer got to talking to me about it and so forth, and he noticed my my Liberty fedora, which I have all of my shiny badges and my pin, his Liberty pins as well.
Yeah, I'm sharing a picture on screen of Liberty Phoenix, the current caller at PorkFest, wearing his fedora.
And the officer took notice mainly of my Bitcoin Rebel shiny badge. And we got to talking about what Bitcoin was, and I was like, are you serious? You don't know what Bitcoin is? And I grabbed him one of the Bitcoin Gorilla pamphlets that I carry around, which I'm almost out of, thankfully. I'm going to have to get more. And I started describing to him what Bitcoin was. We got onto the topics of why government is immoral and why he should not do his job unless there is competition, and how it's a monopoly on force and so forth. And we talked for a good 25 minutes. And the officer basically was like, you realize what you've committed is a crime, right? I was like, well, who's really the victim here? And that started off a whole nother debate. And it came to the point where he just was like, you know what, man, just make sure I don't see you out here again. And he finally allowed me to just drive back to my house. And I really think that it came down to not just being lucky and having the ability to communicate the ideas of liberty succinctly, I really think that officer had already had the spark in him, because we were talking about authoritarian sociopathy, Davy Barker's recent book, which I'm doing an audiobook of, so I've got it fresh in my mind. I know it front to back, and I started telling him about the Milgram experiment. And I finished explaining that to him, and I was like, have you heard of the Stanford Prison Experiment? And he had already heard of the Stanford Prison Experiment, so he knew a little bit about what authority really does. So I think he was already starting to doubt the legitimacy of all the BS that he spews, which I think is probably what added to me being able to go home instead of get kidnapped and thrown in a cage that day. So I really want to give a shout out to the officers in Aurora, Illinois. Every single encounter I've had with them, they've been positive.
What was your biggest takeaway from the encounter?
That a lot of the officers that we encounter on a daily basis are aware of what's going on, and they find themselves just as behind a stake and 8-ball as everybody else does. A lot of them are really trying to do the best that they can, but they're still brainwashed. But I think
how many of them have arrested a fellow officer for committing a crime, often a felony, right in front of their eyes? How many of them have stepped up and arrested their colleagues? Because there are cash prizes that have been on the table for months. Pete Eyre has put $5,000 on the table for any cop who arrests his colleague for committing a crime. It happens every day. We hear about it. We hear about it every week. But who steps up to do it? So these good cops are unicorns. Good cops would arrest their colleagues for committing crimes just like any other person.
Well, I don't think that the actual true idea of a good cop, as far as one that would follow the non-aggression principle and respect property rights, exists. But there's some diamonds in the rough that are more susceptible to moments of lucidity than others, I guess would be the best way to describe it. But I do know there was the one officer that did pull over her fellow officer for doing a 110 in a 65, and she was of course run out of the department.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was her records were looked up like over 100 times, and she was harassed by all types of officers. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, not surprising though. Hey, do you have any Oath Keeper propaganda in your car? If you're having interactions with the police, it might be good to have that on hand. Like I was talking with the former caller.
We'll have to get some of that. I am an Oath Keeper. I'm not a contributing member, but I have signed the
Really? When did you swear an oath to uphold the Constitution?
That would have been when I joined the Marine Corps.
Whoa, did not know. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, not cool, but
yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
But,
any other thoughts you want to share?
That's about it, guys. There are some cops out there that have lucid moments.
Do you guys have? I shouldn't just pop them off the lines. Do you guys have questions for Liberty Phoenix? Have you seen his video? It's at derekj.me. If people want to look it up, it's at derekj.me. You can just scroll down. It's like the third blog post down.
I actually saw the video last night. Before I went to bed, I was looking some stuff up, and I came across it. I'm not sure where I saw it. It must have been on your website, Derek. But I
hope so.
And I watch it, and I do have to commend you, man. You held your composure. You're very I don't want to use the word respectful. You're very courteous, and you handle yourself very well at the threat of violence initiated against you. I think that you did a great job, and it was very good to see.
I appreciate that, man. It was just pretty much figured I had nothing to lose, so I might as well just try and connect with him.
Yeah, and bonus points for getting it on video.
On audio, at least.
But barely. What happened with the video?
When Bambuser gets put in sleep mode, it stops recording video. And
why was it put in sleep mode right away? Like, I don't get it.
I just so used to it.
It only captured the first frame. I've never seen that happen.
Force a habit. Whenever I turn it on, it just boom.
Oh, so when you put your phone down, you put it in sleep mode like right away.
Yeah, it's just a force
even
a habit.
though it was recording. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm glad you recorded. Our previous caller was talking about an interaction with police that he encountered and then forgot to record it, had no objective record. And I want to tell those people, it's good that you're getting your story out, but I almost don't want to hear it. Like, There's so much to do. There's so much that is on camera. There's so much that there is evidence for that, like, a doctor who's doing surgeries in war, they need to focus on the cases that can be fixed, the cases that can survive. Well, in modern-day police state America, the cases that can survive are the ones that have it on video, that collected their own evidence. If it's just your word against the police, good luck. I've got no interest. There's no helping you.
Get yourself a streaming app. So
Yeah,
thanks for the time,
Bamboozer.
guys.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for calling in, Liberty Phoenix. Yeah, get yourself Bamboozer app like Liberty Phoenix used. It's a great app. It works on Apple iPhones and Android devices equally well. I have it set so it's just one push button touch, and then boom, I'm streaming right away. Just
One thing I like about Bamboozer is that it records and saves a local copy. And even if you don't have data access at the time, as soon as it finds it, it will upload. So even if you're out in the sticks and you don't have internet access at that particular point, if they, say, arrest you and then bring you to a police station, it will probably hook up with a cell phone tower and start sending it out while you're in jail.
Wow, that's really amazing. I didn't realize that. Very cool.
So yeah, that's a huge plus about Bamboozer.
Yeah, what do you use, Scott?
I'm old school. I just video and audio.
No live stream?
No, that's maybe someday.
You got a smartphone?
Yeah,
We're lucky
I'm just
he's
not a
on the internet
technology
right
guy.
now.
Download Bamboozer. Do it right now. Let's see how fast it takes to get you set up.
Got it.
All right. Well, you remember the story you basically sparked Bill O'Reilly, which was down in Texas, where police were complaining about being followed? Well, I just got an interesting post to our family page, so we'll come back with that.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of Len Jacobs.
You guys really...
Did you see the Facebook photo I just sent you?
No, I have Facebook closed because my computer is hooked into the mixer, and every little, like, beep goes.
Yeah,
beep.
well, no, I put it in the chat of TeamSpeak. I put a link.
Oh.
It is
I
nuts.
see.
So.
Oh, I see. You guys have been chatting for a while. I've been missing out on your convo. Hey.
TeamSpeak chat.
Yeah. Hey.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hey guys. Thanks for letting me in your club. What's this post about? I can't read it. It's too small.
It's from the Arlington Police Department. They have sent it out to a few cop blockers.
Wait, it says the Arlington. Do you want to read this when we come back from break?
Oh
Yes.
man, this is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, this is super awesome.
This was just posted 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, this
Take a
was just posted-
screenshot. We don't want to lose this.
It got posted in CopBlock family. So
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that's where I originally saw it. So we should be good.
Mhm.
But yes, I am downloading the image right now too.
Cool. Very good. I want to go grab a Klondike bar. I need something to pick me
What
up.
would you do for one?
I would pay $1.
Rock and roll.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna get a free spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna find something. I'm sure.
We're about to have an ice cream social around.
Ice cream social cop block time. I guess I'll put the ads back on for the listeners. That'll be fun for them.
Want
There
to
you go.
stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
More CopBlock Radio is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Online at thelibertybeat.com. I'm Brian Hagan with your Liberty Beat for Wednesday, July 30th, 2014. Gold opened today at $1,294. Silver opened at $20.50, while Bitcoin is trading around $574.97. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from Bitmain Technology, announcing the newly released Antminer S3 440 gigahash at only 366 watts. Buy yours today, bitmaintech.com, or call them up at 844-BITMAIN. That's 844-248-6246. And support comes from Affordable Sound. CD and DVD duplication along with posters and promotions materials. Mention promo code Liberty, and when you order 10 or more posters, you get 10 free. Online at portablesound.com, or give them a call at 512-459-5253. In the news, Israel and Hamas are blaming each other after 8 children are killed and 46 others injured when a missile struck a Gaza refugee campground, as reported by the Russian Times. The violence came as Muslims around the globe celebrated one of their religion's biggest holidays, the end of the holy month of Ramadan. The refugee camp park was attacked just minutes after a Gaza outpatient clinic was struck by another missile. The World Health Organization issued a statement that it was appalled by the continuing trend for healthcare facilities, staff, and vehicles to come under direct fire in Gaza since the escalation of violence on July 8th. Last Friday, the U.S. House of Representatives voted 370 to 40 for a resolution that would bar President Obama from sending U.S. troops for any sustained combat role in Iraq without congressional authorization. The decision reflected the desire of both Republicans and Democrats in the chamber for the White House not to act in Iraq without congressional approval. In order to be implemented, the measure requires Senate backing, which the Guardian reports is not expected. Massachusetts Democratic Representative Jim McGovern, who helped introduce the bill, said Congress has ceded too much of its power to the executive branch. On Tuesday, the Canadian government released a statement accusing China of hacking into the computers of the National Research Council of Canada. The statement claimed to have detected a cyber intrusion on the NRC's infrastructure by a highly sophisticated Chinese state-sponsored actor. The NRC focuses on technologies related to aerospace, astrophysics, energy, and mining, health and medicine, ocean vessel engineering, and security. China has denied any involvement in the attack. Support for Liberty Beat comes from Accountable Authority, now offering a public database of police abuse and misconduct. Take action. Join for free to gain community support and protection. Online, accountableauthority.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Wednesday, July 30th, 2014. Check out the website at thelibertybeat.com. The Federal Court of Appeals overturned a 2011 injunction won by Florida doctors against firearms owners' privacy law. The injunction was struck down last week in a 2-to-1 ruling by a panel of judges from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit in Atlanta. Gun rights advocates view the case as a big win for the Second Amendment, but doctors argue their free speech is being violated. The act was passed following several complaints from patients that medical personnel were asking unwelcome questions about firearms ownership.
Because, pretty much the world these days runs on...
Ecuador recently passed an economic reform bill which will create a new state-run cryptocurrency. The bill also includes a blanket ban of all other cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. The new state cryptocurrency will be backed by the Ecuadorian Central Bank, allowing the government to make digital payments. The new currency will function alongside the state's official currency. The government has said they believe this will allow Ecuadorian citizens without bank accounts or credit cards another option for engaging in commerce.
Just the story was the clip.
On Tuesday, activists and community members in Detroit celebrated a victory as Mayor Mike Dugan was given control of the city's water department. The city has been criticized for shutting off water to thousands of customers who were behind on their bill. The issue had previously been in the hands of the emergency manager. Now, Mayor Dugan said he believes the Detroit Water and Sewage Department could have done more to work with citizens before shutting off the water. A new plan is being developed to address the needs of Detroit's struggling communities. Support for Liberty Beat comes from My Magic Mud, all natural teeth whitener. Go to mymagicmud.com to hear a short interview with Dr. Griffin Cole. That's mymagicmud.com. And support comes from Brave New Books, online, bravenewbookstore.com. This is the Liberty Beat for Wednesday, July 30th, 2014. I'm Brian Hagan, reporting, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Sources close to area man Michael Huesmer confirmed this week the unmotivated 29-year-old loser continues to waste his time living a contented life in his hometown near his closest friends and family members and has no intention of leaving. Former classmates told reporters the directionless has no ambition to leave his close-knit community for an expensive and stressful life in a
What are we coming back with?
Apparently satisfied with remaining a pitiful nobody for the remainder of his unassuming existence.
While most of us with dreams got ourselves dingy apartments and soul-crushing jobs in the city years ago, Michael just stayed behind, happy to live his humdrum existence of regular contact with his parents and a town of people who express genuine appreciation for his presence. Honestly, it's pathetic.
In the time it took you to watch this video, you could have read one of Shakespeare's sonnets, listened to an etude by Chopin, or taken in one of the masterworks from the golden age of Dutch painting. The Onion applauds your excellent taste. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.FM. I'm your host, Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek J.
Yo.
All right, so right before we went to break, a image popped up in my news feed on Facebook, and this is from a group of a bunch of CopBlock admins or chapter heads and whatnot. Somebody posted a crazy letter that they received, and if you remember back, the thing that sparked the Bill O'Reilly segment was out of Texas. It is a local news story at the time on Fox there about CopBlockers in Texas and the police department not liking that they were being followed around and whatnot. I don't know if you had seen that earlier video.
No, I haven't seen it, but I follow.
All right. So this letter was just received by some people involved with CopBlock, CopWatch, and Peaceful Streets Project.
Is it public? Can we show it?
Yeah, it's not addressed to any one individual, so
It
yeah.
just says police accountability groups, like.
Right.
Okay.
But this was received by one of the heads of one of the groups, and he posted up in the admin page. So
was it mailed to him or what?
Yes, this was mailed to him. This is from the police department in Arlington. And it reads, Police Accountability Groups. The Arlington Police Department would like to reach out to your groups again for endeavors to report that they have been followed at close range while they are driving and engaging in official law enforcement activities such as traffic stops and calls for service. The officers later became aware that the individuals following them were members of one or more police accountability groups or affiliations, i.e. CopBlock, CopWatch, the Tarrant County Peaceful Streets Project. And it continues on. As previous outlined in a letter sent to you on February 7th, now I'm curious about. The police department acknowledges that taking video, while illegally authorized to be by itself, is your right and will be respected. The department supports all of our citizens being able to exercise their constitutional rights. While exercising these rights, the department also recognizes that there have been incidents across the country where law enforcement officials have been specifically targeted by people who desire to harm officers. Additionally, the dynamics of a traffic stop are inherently dangerous, and interference with law enforcement activities poses a greater danger to officers and the public. For the following reasons, the department respectfully requests that citizens who desire to follow officers or film law enforcement activities remember that. Bullet point. If an officer is followed, the officer has no way of knowing the intentions of the vehicle's occupants who are following the officer. Therefore, prolonged following of an officer is discouraged. Official complaint forms can be picked up at any police station. Just with date, time, car number, and alleged violation, the employee's chain of command can conduct an investigation into the employee's conduct. There is no need for citizens to confront our officers with grievances or complaints in the field. And the last bullet point is...
That's in bold, by the way. There is no need for citizens to confront our officers with grievances or complaints in the field. No need for that.
All do is harass you and beat you up.
Yeah, just bend over, submitizen. We don't need your complaints.
The City of Arlington prohibits the operator of a moving vehicle from using a wireless communication device for any purpose other than making a phone call. Really, that's really weird, because I play music on my phone all the time. That's my MP3 player. That's my stereo. See section 2. Blah, blah, blah.
Isn't it kind of odd that they throw that in there, though?
Yeah, this is kind of
weird. Like that's the one thing where they're like, yeah, good. But just so you know, this is why we're going to pull you over, and this is what you're not going to be doing.
I don't get that third bullet point. Can you explain it?
Yeah, it's really weird. Why you prohibited from using a wireless communication device for almost any purpose other than making a phone call, which is really weird because most states it's illegal to make a phone call.
Yeah, it's like, don't use the phone. God forbid you make a phone call. I mean, you can do... The cops can be trusted with a laptop, walkie-talkie, regular radio. They've got their utility belt, their cell phones. How much technology are the cops equipped with? But they can't trust you to use your cell phone because you might be listening to Pandora, and that's going to be too distracting for you.
Right, or using the GPS.
Yeah.
And then they finally sum it up saying, the offer to meet with you still stands, as we would welcome any dialogue on this matter so that you can achieve your goals while we ensure the safety of our officers and the public. Sincerely, William Johnson, Police Chief. So this is really nuts. And then going back to your just real quickly, they have a laptop and all that stuff, and then they're hypocritical when you want to make a phone call or something. And isn't it really ass backwards when a motorcycle cop tickets people for not wearing their seatbelt?
Oh, right. I see what you're saying, because there are no seatbelts on a motorcycle. Huh. Yeah, I guess that is hypocritical. But, it's for your safety.
In Pennsylvania, if you have I don't know what the exact criteria is, but there's a seatbelt law, but there is also a law that says that if you're a licensed motorcycle operator, you do not have to wear a helmet. That shows the power of lobbyists. I mean, I don't think there should be a law for either one of them, but it just shows how efficient or how effective lobbying can be.
Well, what about the helmet lobbyists? It just shows they suck.
No, it shows the helmet lobbyists. Oh, you mean the helmet companies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point too. I guess they just aren't as good as the seatbelt people.
Yeah, they're screwed up on that one.
Mom's against no helmet riding.
I'm against seatbelts. I'm against seatbelts. Here's why. I live in New Hampshire, and so does Eric, and we know that New Hampshire is one of the safest places to drive. Has some of the fewest accidents, some of the least lethal accidents. Has no helmet laws.
People know how to drive in snow.
Yep, no helmet laws, no seatbelt laws. I don't even think they can pull you over for using your phone. It's pretty much, you're on the road.
They can now.
Oh, right, that's a new thing.
The governor just signed it in.
But most people think that, okay, well, we have to put up with these necessary evils, these cops who pull you over for not having a seatbelt, because it saves lives. The reality is, we've looked at the evidence, the experiment has been done. It's not the case. It's just a little backwards. It's counterintuitive, but a lot of things are counterintuitive in life, and this is one of them. When you tell people they don't have to wear a seatbelt, they drive safer. It's just the fact.
Yeah,
they also wear a seatbelt anyways because it's smarter to do so.
Right. I wear a seatbelt all the time, but I don't need somebody to tell me that I have to do it. It's just common sense. Like, if I would, happen to get hit by another car, I would want to stay inside mine.
Well,
right. I don't drink a gallon of bleach because it's stupid.
Well, also, I don't appreciate the way that it's done. Like, if the cops are looking out for my safety, then they wouldn't threaten me with violence for violating their laws. They would just try and help me see what the right way is. They wouldn't help me by threatening me with cages and rape rooms. And that's exactly what happens, like that guy who we were talking about earlier in PA who has traffic tickets. The little parking tickets added up to $600, and then the police fire on him in his home.
In his own driveway.
Right. I wouldn't. If I got pulled over and the cop just came up to my window and said, "Hey, you got a taillight out." That's all. That's all. And left. That'd be great. I'd be like, "Oh, okay. Thanks. I didn't know my taillight was out. Thanks for letting me know. I'll get that fixed."
Thank you.
Not a problem. Yeah. But of course they're not going to do that because they're like, "Ooh, revenue cow." All right, you listen to CopBlock Radio.
Are you a political activist who does things that the government might not like?
Yes.
Then this free ebook may save your life. Rats is your guide to protecting yourself against snitches, informers, informants, agents provocateur, narcs, finks, and similar vermin.
I love this ad.
Rats was written by OG libertarian Claire Wolf.
Rats
is a short book, easy
Have
to
you
read
read
and
Rats?
available free in many formats.
No.
It's
Download
good.
Rats free at rats-nosnitch.com. That's rats-nosnitch.com.
Rats.nosnitch.com or rats.nosnitch.com. Very good ebook, quick, easy read, very helpful to help spot agents provocateur, undercover feds, and those who would seek to do you harm. You guys want to talk about news when we come back?
Like what?
Like, you had a bunch of awesome show prep in the CopBlock show prep area, and I was blown away. 6 Philly cops indicted for 26 charges of robbery, extortion, and kidnapping. That's huge. And we've got the documents. We can see the scribd files right here.
Where's that one?
I thought you posted that.
Oh, that was Scott who posted that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I posted that up. I read the first part, but I didn't read down. Did you read down through the documents at all, or?
No, that's all legalese. I'm not reading that. I read the
Did you see
summary.
this? Do you guys still follow Police One or no?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so did you see what they just posted? The 6 arguments against the ACLU's flawed police militarization report.
Yeah, they think the police are militarizing.
What kind
Where
of
do they
trips
get
are
off?
taking?
Yeah.
Jerks.
I mean, everyone has a tank. That's just
I have
common.
2.
Yeah,
I'm
we've all
not gonna
got tanks.
brag, but I have 2.
Yeah. So back off, ACLU.
Yeah, you jerks.
They just hate
You and
cops.
You and your civil rights and stuff.
If they don't like the militarization of police, then they just hate cops. And they want anarchy. With that, is that what they want? Then move to Somalia. Yeah, indictment. USA v. Liciardello et al. USA v. Man, that sucks. When the whole country is against you. 6 Philadelphia police narcotics officers, Thomas Liciardello, Brian Reynolds, Michael Spicer, Perry Betts, Linwood Norman, John Spicer, were indicted on yesterday. They faced 26 charges ranging from robbery, extortion, kidnapping, and records falsification. And the unwritten charge of being Class A douche nozzles, stealing from regular... Isn't this the group of cops who was stealing from local convenience stores, knocking them over, breaking their cameras? Isn't that what these guys are?
I don't know. I can't. Where the hell did I put that article at?
Yeah, buying, selling...
I was too busy reading the Police One article.
And they're selling drugs, too. Buying, selling, or otherwise dealing in controlled substances. Wow. These cops are real winners. Using and abusing their positions as police officers to enter premises used or occupied by persons suspected of drug trafficking and robbing those persons and others and extorting money from personal property from those persons. I hate to
5
laugh.
seconds.
Oh, okay, right.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show, live on LRN.FM. I am your host, Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek J.
It's Derek J.
You're like the most creative person I know.
I just said my name.
We're good.
So, we were talking about news, weren't we? I want more callers. Hey, by the way, you can call into the show. Skype us, CopBlockRadio. All one word. Send a contact request. It will be accepted, and then we'll put you on the air. It's cash.
We will screen your calls.
It's very cash.
Free, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And
that was pretty cool. But you got to top our last caller who got away with a pretty serious charge and video recorded it. Had a discussion with the police about Bitcoin. I mean, I can't imagine a better police interaction, honestly. Can you?
I think once I got pulled over and I talked about computers with the guy because I had a
cool.
laptop in my backseat.
That's pretty cool. What's the laptop? What you doing with your lappy toppy?
He's like, "Do you like Dells?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Do you like Dells?
I've had a few.
What kind of question is that?
is there anything in here I should know about?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot in that on that computer that you should know about. I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah. What kind of motherboard you using? You got a custom rig? I don't know. What sort of nerdy questions does a cop ask about your laptop?
I don't know.
You're on your way home from drug school.
It was like 10 years ago.
I've had cops ask about the books in my car, though. That's been good. Like, once I had Requiem for a Dream in the back, and I did not want to explain what that book was about, but they were asking about it. Like, you know, because that's part of the investigation. They shine their flashlight all around, like, what's that, what's that, what's that? And I didn't get to explain what Requiem for a Dream is like.
That would have been a great audio.
Probably for the best. You know, it was before my cop blocking days, so I wouldn't have had no audio. It just would have been in jail, joining the rape rooms.
You would have been in the rape cage.
Yeah.
State rape. Getting state raped.
State rape. So, speaking of state rape, there are 6 Philly cops who've been indicted in a lawsuit, or what looks like criminal charges. USA v. Liciardello et al. Those are the other cops who've been charged. And it seems like they're facing some pretty serious charges. They were employed as police officers in Philadelphia. And the summary, according to the indictment, says the Narcotics Field Unit was part of the Narcotics Bureau of Philadelphia Police Department. The Narcotics Field Unit was created by the department to support its overall drug enforcement mission. That is, to identify, disrupt, deter, and apprehend persons and organizations involved in drug trafficking, drug-related violence, and illegal vice activity throughout Philadelphia. Sounds like a good group of people. They're going to keep crime out of the streets, going to make sure people aren't on drugs. What could go wrong? Well, according to the mission, the Narcotics Field Unit was designed to focus primarily on illegal narcotics sales and related to drug activities. But during their time on the force, they got into a little bit of trouble. Their charges include robbery, kidnapping, extortion, buying, selling, or otherwise dealing in a controlled substance. And the list goes on. They are facing some serious time. I hope that for the charge of using and abusing their positions as police officers, they get extra time. I don't like to see people in state rape cages, but police officers who send so many victims there, it's hard to have sympathy or empathy for them.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are currently incarcerated because of their misdeeds?
No, it's criminal. They're not misdeeds. Like misdeeds, like whoops, you know, I spilled your milk. But like they go in and raid places, use their badges, use their guns as permission slips to do whatever the hell they want. They're robberies. I mean, they steal money from people, going into homes and stealing money. There's no way to hold these people accountable. They just think they're gods. It's because they've been getting away with this stuff for so long. Well, finally, I hope this lawsuit or these charges against these officers starts to change the mind of other officers on the force, saying, well, hey, maybe I shouldn't be stealing this money because I could end up in a state rape cage like my colleagues over there.
I'm pretty sure that if they go to jail, they will not be. They won't be welcomed very warmly.
Yeah, can you imagine how a cop is treated in jail, especially one who was raiding drug dens and stealing money from drug lords. I imagine
hey, man,
word gets around.
Yeah. Hey, remember me? Yeah, I'm the one who you arrested.
Yeah, right.
To my house. Welcome to my world, Grandma.
Yeah, welcome. How you doing tonight? Yeah, no, they put them in segs sometimes. They separate them. And like you have this other story. Didn't you have another story in the show prep about some judge who had 58 years and then they brought his sentence down to something like 20? Yeah. Judge.
No, he had sentenced somebody, and because of how the mandatory minimum laws work, he had no choice but to sentence the dude to 57 years, and he's been speaking out against it and got it lowered down to 20.
Oh, okay. Wow. Lowered to 20 years in prison. That's an improvement.
Yeah, he was saying that the dude would have had less of a sentence for capital murder, or not capital murder, but first-degree murder versus what he was charged with.
Let me guess, California.
Like three robberies, and there was a weapon involved. And he got 57 years because there was a weapon involved with 3 car robberies. No one was hurt. But yeah, if he had committed first-degree murder, he would have gotten a less sentence.
Did this happen in Brooklyn?
I don't know because I'm not.
Yeah, I just checked out the story. I was guessing California, but it's Brooklyn.
Wow.
Yeah. Hard to believe that things get so bad. Like, it's those politicians. It's the passing the buck game because the politicians want to look tough on crime for the next election, so they write these ridiculous laws. Oh, mandatory. If you're caught with coke, it's 10 years. Meanwhile, they're blowing lines in between votes. And then the politicians after them just say, well, we got to ramp it up, we got to ramp it up. The police just say, we keep making arrests, we keep making arrests. The judges say, oh, I got to follow the law. Meanwhile, the cops are thinking, well, the judge will set them free, but the judge is saying, well, I got to follow what the law is written. The politicians write these crazy laws. No one's accountable to anybody. They just keep passing the buck. They could just keep doing evil, and no one's going to stop it.
Yeah, well, this one you're talking about, he was the guy Francois Holloway was convicted in 1996 and got 57 years, which was twice as long as the average sentence for murder that year in that district.
What was his
quote
crime?
I'll get to it in a second. He said sentencing data suggests that Holloway would have fared much better if he had committed first-degree murder instead of robbing 3 cars. The sentence... Let's see where it was. Holloway, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to...
Robbing cars is pretty bad.
Yeah, well, the sentence was dictated because of a federal law aimed at criminals who use guns. He got 5 years for the first case, and then 20 for 2 other cases, and then 12 for carjackings. Though he wasn't the one who actually had the gun, the rest of them pled out to a much shorter sentence. You listen to the CopBlock Radio Show on LRN.FM.
What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who...
You coming to Keenvention, Scott?
What is it?
October 31st to November 2nd, so it's Halloween weekend. Friday.
Actually, I think I'm just going to be getting back from vacation that week.
Oh, okay. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you can make it, it's going to be a good time. Activists doing activism, talking activism, partying, drinking, smoking, living life. It's going to be great.
Doing what they want.
Yeah, and it's got to be one of the freest places on earth that I've ever been to. Eric can probably vouch for me. Yeah, Keene, New Hampshire. Am I right? I mean, it's the North Korea of New Hampshire, but as far as freedom places go, it's a pretty good one on Earth.
That was a good video that I cut out of your show too. Is North Korea one giant prison?
Right, and it is. That caller had me. I was saying that the U.S. has a greater prison population than the whole rest of the world combined. He was like, nope, North Korea does. And he's right, because the whole country is a prison.
The whole country is a prison.
It's just a bigger farm.
Yeah. But then I was saying, by that measuring stick, you could say the U.S. is a bigger farm because it's got 300 million, and it's just a different degree of what kind of prison.
Well, then China would probably get way past
good point.
The U.S. in that case.
Yep. Yup. So what's coming up next? Who's on first? Who's in charge here?
Know.
Who's your leader?
57 years, man. That's just friggin' bonkers. 57. How old was the guy when this happened?
I don't know.
Not sure.
I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. Scott, you do any cop blocking this week?
No, I've been working.
Been working.
Some of us have real jobs.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying.
I work a lot.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You know, I'm just asking.
Nope. No, I spent 2 hours in that garden yesterday picking tomatoes.
All right.
Shit. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you. Gardens.
My garden's gone
Monsanto
nuts.
free.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm inspired.
Nuts, man.
All right, I'll be right back.
Net streams, free
My
satellite
tomatoes
channel, or
have
radio
gone.
affiliates. No worries.
My one tomato
You can listen
plant
to
has gone taller than
from
my
any
trellis.
phone, anywhere.
So it is
standing on
9
top
feet
of your
tall.
phone. I saw you standing on top of your ladder. and I was gonna comment.
213-493-0309. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling
If you were one of my guys,
I do now. I can't reach the top anymore.
24 hours a day.
I can't believe how
Call
big it got.
213.
If you were one of my guys, my employees, I would tell you to get
That's
a bigger fucking ladder.
213-493-0309.
I'm
Since
6'1",
time began,
so
tyrants have taken aim at personal
That's
liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! On your knees!
What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed,
I pick a
The
few,
Road to
like
Freedom.
maybe 3 or 4.
A film by Michael W.
cherry
Dean
tomatoes
and Nima Bagavi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.fm, or you can download it as a podcast because I will not be lazy this week. I will put it up tomorrow. I said it, so I got to do it.
You're totally committed now.
So it'll be posted on CopBlock.org. And if you're listening to the podcast, know that we do this show live on Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern at LRN.fm. So check it out. And as a live chat. And now that we have calls, you can call in. Now that we have Skype, you can Skype in. All right, so I'm your host, Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek J.
Derek J is here.
Derek J. I wasn't sure if he was going to call back on that one. All right, so right before the break, we're talking about the guy who was sentenced to 57 years, and I kind of like glossed real quick over the rest of it. But I think I think how crazy this is, we should probably continue on and expand on it a little bit.
Yeah, lay it on me. Who is this guy? What happened to him? Who's the judge?
So it says that the sentencing was dictated mainly by federal law aimed at criminals who use guns. The same law sent Weldon Angelos, a nonviolent pot dealer, to 55 years, and that would have sent Chris Williams, a Montana medical marijuana grower, to 80 years in prison if the prosecutor had not relented after his trial. Holloway was not actually armed during the 3 carjackings in which he participated, but one of his accomplices was. So, because an accomplice was, you were.
Really? He didn't even have a gun?
He didn't even have a gun. And that was enough for the sentencing purposes. He got 5 years for the first gun use, even though he didn't have a gun, and then 20 for each of the 2 others, and then got 12 years for the 3 carjackings, all to be served consecutively. By contrast, the longest sentence received by his accomplices, all of whom pled guilty, was 6 years. Holloway himself was offered a plea deal that included a recommended sentence of 11 years. In effect, he got 46 years for exercising his constitutional right to a trial. Now, this is
he probably thought he was going to get free.
Right.
This is something that we've talked about in the past, that the max sentence that you should be able to be given is the lowest that you have been offered in a plea deal. Because they're basically punishing you to go to trial, which is ridiculous.
By design.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they don't want it to go to trial. They don't want to do that.
Well, it costs a lot of money.
Right, but then if they do, then they just really beat the crap out of you afterwards.
Right.
Because
they'll railroad you at least the first time. You're going to have to appeal.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's freaking ridiculous. If you were willing to offer me, 1 year for something, and then I turn it down, why suddenly now is it going to be 20 years or whatever?
Yeah, because politicians said so, Eric, and they know what's best. Somebody voted for them a long time ago. You weren't around for it, but they decided what's best for you, and they knew perfectly what would happen in the future and what would be best for each individual.
Well,
because they're better than you. Because they're better than you, and me too.
They're super geniuses.
But not Derek.
Yeah. No, they're super geniuses. They're more brilliant than anyone because they're politicians, and they know what's best for you.
And they're more honest because we're liars.
Well, yeah. You can't trust people, but you can trust people that you elect to government.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen they have those little pins on their lapel pins with the seals like that. Those are important people.
I wear my pin on my microphone. It says "Mock the vote."
That's a pretty good one.
Because we got to mock it.
All right, so what other stories piqued your interest this week?
The 3 DUI arrest sheriff guy. He's still getting money. He's still getting money on the sheriff's payroll. He's got 3 DUI arrests and a revoked license, but he's still good enough to pay on the taxpayer dime. This story from politics.suntimes.com. He's had a revoked driver's license for more than 20 years. He's been convicted of a DUI twice, and he's facing trial for his 3rd DUI, accused of drunk driving with his 14-year-old daughter in the car, in the same Skokie courthouse where he works for the Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart. He's Alberto Alguer, age 57, a former Cook County Sheriff's deputy who has lost his power to make arrests and carry a gun. What he hasn't lost is his $70,000 a year job. He's just 11 months shy of retirement. And now he's working a desk job for Dart's office in the Skokie courthouse, where he goes to trial next month on charges of felony aggravated DUI, driving on a revoked license, and endangering his daughter. Depending on the outcome of that criminal case and 2 professional complaints against him, he could even retire with full pension benefits next year. Sheriff Tom Dart's office acknowledged it's true. Alguer worked most of his career at courthouse security at the Daly Center. He was de-deputized in 2012 after his most recent DUI arrest on February 16, 2012. On that night, Alguer crashed a car into the back of an SUV stopped at a light. According to a complaint brought against him, he's concerned he could lose his job. And his 14-year-old daughter was in the car. She allegedly offered to pay the driver of the SUV if she didn't call the police. Later, this guy refused to take a breathalyzer test when the officers showed up, but he admitted to drinking 3 or 4 beers before driving. So what do you think that means? How many did he have if he admitted to 3 or 4?
Probably half a case.
7 to 9.
5 days and a court date passed before he reported the crash to his superiors, according to the complaint. Even then, he acknowledged he had been driving without a license, but he made no mention of his DUI charge. More than 2 years later, the trial for his DUI is just underway, which baffles the driver of the SUV. Quote, "He should have been fired 25 years ago," the public high schooler said. Public high school teacher said, yeah. If you have DUIs and your license is suspended, you should be fired pretty quickly. If not the first time, then maybe the second or third one. Algier could not be reached for comment, but his attorney declined to comment. Records show Algier, who lives just blocks from the crash site, was first convicted of DUI in 1979. Oh, so this is a spring chicken. This is brand new to him. This has never happened before. 1979, my God. The convictions don't stop from him getting hired by the sheriff's department in 1985. Wait a minute. So DUI in 1979 and the sheriff's department is like, oh, check out this resume. What do you think of this guy? Yeah, DUI. That's not a big deal. We all get one, right? Sweep it under the rug. We could have him. And then the office had more lax attitudes towards drunk driving at the time.
Sorry, I just read the next.
In 1989, according to court records, he was once again convicted of DUI after Wilmette police pulled him over for speeding and driving on the wrong side of the road. Algier reported this arrest to the department. The personnel records do not indicate if he was disciplined.
Wonder why.
Well, he wasn't on duty. That's why, right? Yeah, that's a plausible explanation. Friggin' ridiculous. All right, you're listening to the CopBlock Radio Show on LRN.FM.
Liberty activists around the country are starting to realize politics alone won't.
On the wrong side of the road.
Whoops. It happens, right?
Again.
It happens once and again.
Who hasn't done that?
Don't we all?
I spent the last 3 years in England. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, who doesn't get behind the wheel after 5 or 6 beers and then end up on the wrong side of the road on occasion? I mean, it happens to the best of us, right? I mean, at least those of us who work for the sheriff's department. Outrageous. Do we have more from this story? I mean, it just gets worse. I don't want to read on for that story. We're done with that, right? Unless someone else wants to pick it up. Someone else can pick it up. My reading was a little sloppy. What about the family suing the Orange County sheriffs over the violent SWAT raid? That's pretty good. I like to see people suing the police.
I like to see.
Was that the one where the kid got shot?
Yeah.
Here tonight, a mother and daughter are suing the Orange County Sheriff's Office after they say the girl, then just a minor, was shot during a SWAT raid.
The family's dog was also shot and killed.
Is that you, Derek?
Yeah. You want what? Is that no good?
No, I was going to say we could play it.
Oh, okay. I'm cool with that. Yep, I got it ready. So here, I'll back it up and ready when you guys are. In the last segment, can I mention my fundraiser again?
Yep.
Just briefly. I want to make more. I want to raise more money to pay that attorney, just in case we have to appeal or something, like appeal the appeal. It's been going well though.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have a date?
I've been surprised. No, but it will be within the next 2 weeks. The date is apparently being mailed to me, so by law it has to be within the next 2 weeks. So it will be.
They'll probably schedule it like the next day and hope you don't get the.
Oh my God, that would be horrible. Could they do that? They really could, couldn't they? Like, oh, sorry you didn't get it. We scheduled it for tomorrow.
You didn't show up.
Yep, we had the appeal. That would be a nightmare. I don't think they could do that. Like
I don't think that they could either.
They have to have like.
If they did that, it'd be a nightmare for them.
They did it to a demo. They did that.
Well, yeah. They fuck Edema pretty good.
They did that to Edema where they sent mail
Wrong
to a place
address.
that didn't exist. Oh, we sent that to, Tree Road next to Rock Street. You didn't get it?
Number 738.
Yeah.
And a half.
Could have sworn I saw you get the letter. No, they're a bunch of liars. And then he calls them up like, you sent this to me in to my actual address with it still in the envelope of some address that you know doesn't exist. It's not even on Google Maps. And they were just like, we don't know how that happened.
We can be held accountable.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm from the government.
Yeah. Moment of truth. We got, what's it called? The last segment. It's third act. Redemption in the third act. Gotta hammer this one home. Are you ready? Apparently not.
What?
Nothing. I was saying it's redemption in the third act. We gotta hammer this last segment home.
Oh, sorry. I was listening to like two voices of you because the Derek J commercial's on too.
Oh, really?
You're talking twice.
I always forget to mute it.
Yeah. Victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM. That's amp.lrn.fm.
And welcome back to the CopBlock Radio Show live on LRN.FM. I am your host, Eric, and with me tonight I have Scott and Derek J.
Yo! What's going on, guys?
All right, so you have a story to help wrap us up this episode.
That's right, I do. A family is suing Orange County Sheriff's Office over a violent SWAT team search. Here's the story from WFTV.com.
New tonight, a mother and daughter are suing the Orange County Sheriff's Office after they say the girl, then just a minor, was shot during a SWAT raid.
The family's dog was also shot and killed when the women say the SWAT team came in looking for the girl's brother who didn't even live there. Eyewitness News at 10's Renee Stoll just spoke to the woman and joins us live at the Orange County Courthouse. Renee, the Sheriff's Office is somehow staying tight-lipped about this case.
Well, Georgia Sheriff's Office says it wants to go ahead and not make a comment until the judicial process has worked its way here at the courthouse. Now, I did get the incident reports from when the SWAT team entered the home, and it makes little mention of anybody's injuries. These bullet holes in a 17-year-old's leg are only part of the reason an Orlando mother and her daughter are suing the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The family has asked us not to show their faces, but talked about their experience in this home in 2010 when the SWAT team came looking for one of their family members.
I got up and I went towards the door, and literally once I went towards the door, boom.
At the time, this woman was a minor and home alone.
I was 17, 5'2", same as now. And I was 100 pounds wet. They came in shooting.
These are photos from her injuries the next day. The family showed us these pictures of bullet holes in the walls and floor. In the midst of this, their family dog was also shot and killed. SWAT team members said the dog aggressively came towards them as they entered the house.
The dog was startled and ran to the closet, to the room. And when they ran to the room is when they shot him.
He was over 10 years old. He had no teeth.
The search warrant was for a man believed to be a drug dealer.
So I said, Chris hasn't lived here in weeks. So if you've been surveilling my house, why are you here?
During their search, investigators found bullets but no gun, cannabis seeds, and drug paraphernalia in a room their suspect had lived in. But the charges were eventually dropped, and this woman says the only thing that remains are her injuries.
My back hurts. My back hurts a lot now. Even sometimes just doing regular stuff. The very first year was very, very hard for me. I went into a very dark place.
Now, according to the sheriff's office, the daughter had refused medical treatment, but she says she wasn't even aware of some of her injuries until after she was had her handcuffs taken off and the SWAT team had left. I did also check the record of the man that originally had the warrant. He's been arrested 3 times before for misdemeanor drugs, but one of those charges was even dropped. Reporting live at the Orange County Courthouse, Renee Stoll, Eyewitness News at 10.
What do you make of that?
Why don't you actually do some fucking police work for once and Even the lady knows. If you've been surveilling the house, you know he's not here. You fucking morons.
Yeah, that is tragic. It's a shame that girl was injured, and I wish that, the only thing that a regular subcitizen can do in a situation like this is have surveillance video of your home. I mean, it's not that far-fetched to presume that one day there are going to be police at your door, and you're going to want video of that interaction, because 9 times out of 10, it's not consensual.
They shot the dog that ran away and hid in the closet.
It has 4 legs.
Heroes,
Right.
first responders.
We have families to go home to.
And this was back in 2010, and they're still being tight-lipped about it. You mean covering it up?
Yeah, I like
That's
how
what
that
sounds like to
newscaster was like, somehow the sheriff's department is tight-lipped about this. I'm shocked.
There you go. I mean, there's nothing. There's no redeeming quality about this story.
Well, that's
it's planned. Who gives a shit? Even if he was selling marijuana, who cares?
Yeah, it is a plan.
couple months ago, we talked about the cops that broke into did a no-knock raid on a house that was sold. Like, people didn't even live there.
Yeah, that's some fine investigative work. And you know why? Because they're not going to face any penalties. The worst part of what's going to happen to them is this news blurb right there. Like, oops, cop got the wrong house. Bet no donut.
Mistake. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, we got a caller. Should we take him?
Go for it.
It's Jose Vela of Dallas CopBlock. You are on CopBlock Radio on LRN.FM.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Hey, I can barely hear you. I don't know if I'm.
Turn your speakers up.
There we go. Hang on, I can barely hear you. I'm trying to get my volume adjusted here real quick.
Okay. Well, while you do that, we're going to talk about CopBlock Radio stuff. We got family. Let's recap what we talked about today.
I got it.
Oh,
I got
so
it.
Turn them speakers off.
Yeah. So
I got it.
All right. So what do you want to talk about, Jose? Welcome to CopBlock Radio Show. You are from Dallas CopBlock.
Yes. Right now I'm trying to get into more of a better location in my house. I got my kids and my wife sleeping right now. So.
Okay. Well, you want me to mute you for a little bit? You can give me a heads up.
Cool. I don't know if you can see me or not.
No, we cannot see you. This is an audio-only show.
You can't see me at all?
This is an audio broadcast.
Oh, okay. So you can't see any video at all, huh?
I can see you, but the audience cannot.
Okay.
Go ahead with your thoughts, Jose.
Okay,
What do you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I'm in my garage. See behind me, I got my car covered up. So, anyways, I was going to call in to let y'all know about what's been going on over here in Dallas and in Arlington, Texas. We've been pretty busy and active over here with Tarrant County Peaceful Streets Project with Jacob Dova, the founder of Peaceful Streets Project in Arlington. We've been pretty busy with the cop watches lately.
Yeah,
myself,
apparently so busy that they're sending you guys letters. What do you make of What do you make of that letter you guys just got?
I was shocked. I was getting ready to leave to go to a rally in downtown Dallas, and the mailman came by and he gave me a letter for me to sign. I go, "What's this?"
Oh, it was a certified letter?
Yeah, a certified letter. I was totally caught off guard.
That's kind of creepy, actually, that they know exactly where you live and know who you are. That's really
cool. You're not a secret person. You were just on the news for your cop blocking, right?
Yeah, I mean, they totally caught me off guard, totally, because I knew that the Tarrant County Peaceful Streets Project, they've got in contact to talk to Arlington PD, but not me. And so I thought, I don't know how they got in contact, with the Peaceful Streets Project, but when I saw it, I think it'd be very interesting. I thought, what is this? They're asking us to not film the police or what? So,
they invite you to come to their headquarters and go ask them questions off camera. They're so generous.
Right. And I started looking into it, reading, and I thought, oh, they want me to go there and talk to them. I said, no. I don't talk to people who have guns and badges that are a monopoly. If McDonald's wants to
record the conversation.
Right. And if there's McDonald's called me asking me to talk to them, sure, because they compete with other people, with Whataburger, but the police don't compete. So why do I want to go talk to a violent monopoly for? So
Jose, weren't you just featured in the clip on Bill O'Reilly?
Yeah, that was me.
Why didn't you? On the Bill O'Reilly clip, they said, and a man who declined to give his last name. Why? Right. What's that about?
Okay, the story behind that was because in 2010 in South Texas, I was interviewed by the local media, and my house burned down. My little boy burned it down. It was a mishap, and of course they got my first and my last name, and I thought, okay, sure, And so a few days when they aired it that night, people were trying to ask me to add me to their personal Facebook page, and then it got to the point where I couldn't get it in my Facebook page at all. And this is my personal one.
Why couldn't you get in your Facebook page?
Somebody was trying to hack into it, and they asked me all these security questions, and all these people asked me to add them, and I said, I don't know who these people are. I was not involved with. I never heard of CopBlock.org at the time. It probably didn't even come out. And this was in October 2010.
Okay.
And so I didn't want people.
A little flooded, basically.
Yes, I got flooded, and so I thought, well, that's a learning experience.
Yeah.
So, long story short, when I was being interviewed over here in Arlington, I said, nah, I don't want to. Just my first one. And then after that, I thought,
we got to leave it there. Thanks for the call.
You called in right at the end of the show, and yeah, we gotta let you go. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that that whole thing happened. But yeah, that happened to me too. When your name and address gets out, and you get a whole bunch of crap. All right, be sure to tune in next week. And until then, remember that badges don't grant extra rights.
The easiest thing in the
world.
world.
Let me mute the audio, and we can just record basically as if we were in the middle of a segment, and I'll drop it into the podcast for your thing.
Cool. Okay. For my thing?
Yeah.
What do I have to do? We're still on with Jose, by the way. Jose is still on.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Yeah. I didn't know if we wanted to keep him on or not, or if we're doing a little post-show, or what's going on. You're in charge, Eric.
I was going to say, if you want to hear the rest of the story, it's not that long. It's not that much longer. If you want to
Well, first, Eric's going to tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah, sure. Jose, give us a quick one. Just wrap it up, and then we'll record Derek J's thing.
Go ahead. Oh, looks like we got disconnected.
You still there, man?
No, we got disconnected from Jose. So, what is it that you wanted me to record?
You wanted your fundraiser for your gun
Oh,
case.
yeah, I forgot about that. Hey, if there's anyone out there who supports gun rights, go to GoFundMe.com/gun rights. That's where I'm having a fundraiser. I'm appealing the decision by the Keene Police to deny my concealed carry license. New Hampshire is a shall-issue state. If we're going to preserve that, if we're going to preserve the right of the people to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed, then I need your support in helping me beat this denial charge. GoFundMe.com/gun rights. This is important for gun lovers everywhere.
Cool. And I'll just drop it into like a middle of a clip where we can, and probably.
Sure.
Do you want it at the end or the beginning, or do you care?
I do not care.
All right, cool.
Hey, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate this. Thanks for inviting me onto your show. I always have a good time. Yeah, and I've got the video is going to be live at derekj.me, and it'll be on my YouTube channel, Derek J Live.
Sweet. I'll hack it up tomorrow.
Cool. Thanks, man. Peace.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Later.